What's happening, troops? Welcome back to another video on the SharpDiv YouTube channel. If you're new around here, then subscribe. We're almost at 5k subscribers and I'll give you guys a wee 5k subscriber special if we can reach that milestone very soon. And if you could hit that like button, it would be very much appreciated. Now on to the topic of today's video, and it is surrounding the chief executive of the SFA, Stewart Regan, his fucking shortcomings in trying to find a new manager, his incompetence, and overall just speaking a wee bit about the SFA. So if you've been living under a rock, recently Michael O'Neill, who is the manager of Northern Ireland, he has managed to take them to major competitions, taking them to the last 16 of the Euros. He has actually rejected the deal that Scotland have offered him to be the new Scotland manager. He is a Northern Irish man, and the contract that he currently has at Northern Ireland is better than the one that Scotland offered them. It's absolutely embarrassing. Why would you contact an FA, ask to speak to the manager, then offer that manager a shit contract compared to his other one? It is rumoured to be in the region of about 600 grand a year for the Scotland job, and it's actually the highest paid that any Scotland manager would ever have been. But he's getting paid more money at Northern Ireland, so why would he leave his own country to come and manage a country that haven't even made a competition since 1998? Stewart Regan identified Michael O'Neill, and they basically came out and says Michael O'Neill is our man. He is at the top of the list. He's the guy that we want. They kind of did a similar strategy to what Rangers did. We made it very clear that Derek McInnes was the guy that we wanted, and the exact same thing has happened to the SFA. We want Michael O'Neill. We offer him a contract, boom, rejects it. Stewart Regan from that is left with pie on his face. So Michael O'Neill, if you don't know, is completely revitalising the Northern Irish football game. They love him over there. He's previously the manager of Shamrock Rovers, in which he was the first ever manager to take a team from the Irish League to European competitions, getting them past the qualifying stages. And he also managed Brecon City, but he really made his name at Northern Ireland, and as I says, he took them to the last 16 of the Euros. An amazing feat for a country so small with only a 1.5 million population. O'Neill was at the top of the list, a list that I don't think even exists. The SFA should have done a contingency plan. If that guy turns around and says that he doesn't want the job, then we have another guy who's second in the list to go and speak to him. But no, we came out and says he was the only target for us. Instead of saying that we had a number of targets and we were speaking to different options, no, we said that he was the guy that we wanted and he rejected us. So now it should be quite easy actually, if there is a list, just to go to the next guy in the list. So, SFA, are you doing that? I seriously doubt it. This isn't the only stupid thing that Stewart Regan has done whilst being the chief executive of the SFA. He also came out just before our recent friendly with Netherlands, when Malky Mackay was taking the team, and says Malky will not be offered the job. Doesn't matter how good you do, Malky, you will not be offered the job. And fair enough if Malky knew about this, but that guy didn't even have a clue that that was their intentions. So he just came out, told the media he's not going to get the job, and he was probably under the impression that if he did well, he could be in there because he is an ex-manager. He used to manage Cardiff, and I know that a lot of people, including myself, don't want him to be the new manager. But the way that Regan handled that whole situation was a farce. In my opinion, and I don't know about you guys, but I just feel as though Scotland has lost its identity in a way. We are constantly chasing other models that works for other countries. We're chasing the Dutch model, we're chasing the German model, we're chasing the fucking Iceland model because it worked for them. But that's people who have been brought up in a different environment. There is a bigger population, there is a lesser population. They're just completely different people. So a model that works for them won't necessarily work for Scotland and Scottish people who are getting brought up in this country. The SFA need to come up with a plan that actually targets the people of this country instead of chasing all these fairy tales from other countries. The Spanish model, the German model, as I've already said. We're constantly trying to copy these other nations, but we're not putting our own spin to it. And in my opinion, that is the reason why Scotland are failing so dramatically. Wales are doing well, Northern Ireland are doing well, Ireland are doing well, they're all doing well. But Scotland are absolute pants. Now personally, I believe that there is a lot of issues in the country, such as there being like a drunk culture, a drugs culture. When a kid gets to a certain age, they're too interested in going out drinking or taking drugs with their mates. There's also a clear obese epidemic in this country. I mean, when I was in school, we would get one core PE class per week, and it's mandatory. That's done by the government. They say there must be one core PE per week. So if you don't pick PE, you will only take part in physical activity once. That might be the only time during a week that a certain kid is actually taking part in any sort of activity. And you know what would happen? By the time that we went to do a core PE lesson, there would be a talk about something. There would be a trip somewhere. There would be anything to get you out of that class. They would drag you out of the PE class at every opportunity. And that meant that you weren't even doing PE. If you hadn't picked that subject, you were literally doing no activity. If you didn't partake in any physical activity outside of school, then you were doing sweet fuck all. Now that can't be good for weight. And it also can't be good for nutrition, that kids in schools are allowed to just leave and go to takeaway shops who have got deals on for the kids, that have bloody got, there's a van that used to be at the bottom of my school. And that just can't be good for kids growing up to be healthy. And you might be thinking, that's got absolutely nothing to do with football, but I do personally feel like it is. The way that people are brought up in Scotland is a lot different from the way that people are brought up in other countries. For example, Slovakia. I've got a mate who's Slovakian, and a lot of people in his village, for example, actually grow their own food. They grow their own food out in their gardens, and they eat that sort of nutrition, whereas we're brought up having pizzas, having McDonald's, having all this shit, and it can't be good for us. So the SFA need to take all of this into account. They need to take that these foreign countries, European countries, are being brought up completely differently from us. They've got a bigger population, or they've got a lesser population. They're living in different environments. They're playing the game differently. They've got a different youth structure. They've got completely different ethics and morals. Even countries in Wales, Ireland, they're being brought up differently from us. Even though it might be similar, there is something along the lines where they're succeeding and we're not. Another problem in Scotland is the prices for pitches. Pitch prices are absolutely obscene, and gone are the days where you could just go to a pitch and play with your mates. Now, it probably happens at certain pitches. You could go into a brand new AstroTurf pitch or a brand new grass pitch and you could go and play. But in a lot of places, they're now closing the venue. And that means that young people in this country can't just go to a football venue and play about with their mates. They need to get that out. They need to get the money out. And where does it all lead back to? It leads back to those that are at the top. Those that are the elite in the game and in the country. Guys like Stewart Regan, guys like Rod Petrie, who's going to be the next chief executive of the SFA. Rod Petrie, nothing against the guy, but Rod Petrie is the chairman of Hibs. So if he takes the chief exec job at the SFA, surely he can no longer have any affiliation with Hibs because there's a complete conflict of interest there. So it's completely fucked, man. It's absolutely fucked. The whole structure is fucked, and they need to get back to our roots. They need to look at our culture and what's going to work best for the youths in this country. So cut a long story short, Stewart Regan, I believe that you should resign as chief executive of the SFA. I believe that people should be in charge that have a clue about the game, that are going to make good footballing decisions. No smart academics that are making footballing decisions. That's when it just doesn't add up. That's when you don't qualify for a tournament since 1998. Fix it, SFA, because the people of Scotland are suffering. I'm out.